All right, let's move on to software installation and an introduction to the repositories. Okay, so the next topic I'm going to address in our discussion of Linux administration is software installation, taking a slightly different turn from where we were before in discussing networking. Now, I'm not talking about system installation and the associated basic operating system install, and we covered that much earlier in the courses. No, I'm talking about installing and managing additional software after the operating system installation is complete. Now, this is a very critical concept to master, because once the system is installed, you're going to find that there are additional software packages that you want to add to the system. You know, let's say you want to change the desktop. You want something a little less memory intensive, like say XFCE or LXDE, LXQT, something like that. Or you want to switch to my favorite full function desktop, KDE. You would install those desktop packages and then point to them when you log into the system. Or let's say, as a true administrative example, you want to add disk multipath I/O management capabilities to your system. Right? Let's say you've got multiple paths to SAN-based disks, say, and you want multipathing control. And that package is known as device-mapper-multipath. But how? How do you do that? Right? Is there a GUI method? Well, sure there is. And of course, there's the CLI in the shell. So what am I going to do? I'm going to focus on the CLI method, right? The GUI method is actually pretty easy to use. Personally, I find the CLI method as easy, and I think it's more powerful. It's more intuitive to me, actually, but maybe it's just because it's what I've grown up with. Now, there are two primary concepts you want to know when setting out to install a package. The first one is, where do I find packages? How do I get access to them? And what commands am I going to use for installation? So let me start with a graphic that combines both those commands and the access to the packages. The graphic that you see on the left shows a couple of command references. Let's not worry about the commands right now. Rather, let's focus on the right-facing arrow indicating that the commands depend on repositories. Now, Red Hat Package Management is based on a repository or a database of packages, both installed and available. That repository contains metadata about each package, including dependencies, and that's going to be very important as we move through this. And although you probably wouldn't do this just starting out with Linux, you can build your own packages containing software that you've developed and include them in a repository. Now, these homegrown packages can be installed just like any system package, using the commands we'll address later. But for now, let's just address managing software packages that are developed by someone else, as this covers the concepts you need to know. Now, repositories can be found in the Red Hat Linux operating system under /etc/yum, .repos, R-E-P-O-S.d. There'll be a set of files in that directory that end in the .repo extension, and those represent the repositories. And thus, multiple repositories, I've kind of given it away, are supported. Now, in each repository file, you'll find the location of the repository. That could be local or it could be remote via HTTP or HTTPS, security controls like keys and package signature checks, and whether the repository is enabled. In other words, should it be referenced by the package management commands?